My name is Matt Fraser, and I am a psychic medium. Basically, as a psychic medium, my main job is communication, connecting people here in the physical world with their loved ones on the other side. And basically what I do is I do live events up and down the country, I do private readings, and also fundraising and events to help people not only connect, but also to help out nonprofit agencies as well. As a psychic medium, I like to think of myself as like the operator in heaven. I kind of run the spirit lost and found, I like to say, just because of the fact that, I constantly am hearing voices from the departed, and they're constantly looking to connect with people here in the physical world to pass on messages that they didn't get to when they were here. It's always happening. There is no turning off for me. I'm constantly hearing messages. I'm constantly hearing voices. And it actually started from when I was just a little kid. When I was 3 years old, I remember the departed coming into my bedroom at night and trying to speak to me. And to me, it was like living the movie The Sixth Sense. And it's actually funny because my grandmother had this gift to pass it on to my mother and in turn pass it on to me. But you have to remember that back in those days, being in like the 50s and 60s, it was taboo. It wasn't something that people talked about. They didn't go around and say, hey, guess what, I can speak to the dead. Or go around and say, oh, I can hear voices or I see visions, because I guess that in those days you would just be kind of shunned, or, people just didn't talk about it. And so it was never done professionally within my family. And then when I was 3 years old, the gift was passed down to me. So when I started hearing and seeing the departed, it was almost like I was told the family secret. And my mom always told me, it's better to, don't be afraid of the dead. You have to be afraid of the living. And that was never comforting to me back then. She'd actually be in my bedroom at night because I'd be screaming. I'd be so terrified. I actually slept with my parents till I was like 13 because of the fact that I was so afraid of the spirits and the voices and all that. It was traumatizing as a kid. And it was traumatizing being able to see and hear things that other people could not. And it's funny because I remember being just so young and, my mom coming into the room and whatnot, and I'd be pulling the covers over my head and screaming and crying. And instead of being like, oh, that's okay, you can sleep with me and your dad tonight, or don't worry about it, it's fine, you can leave the light on or whatnot, she'd be on the other side of me shaking me going, who is it? Is it my mother? Is it my father? What are they saying to you? What voices are coming through? And that's kind of how it was, back in the day. So I kind of learned to just accept it, even though it was frightening for me. And I actually pushed it away for years and years and years just because of the fact that I was so afraid of it. And I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to be a psychic or a medium. I didn't want to hear from the departed just because I was so afraid. And I actually, from very young, just knew that I wanted to do something with helping others. I just wasn't sure what that was. So I actually started my journey as an EMT. I used to work for the Seaport World Trade Center in Boston for the Security Operations Department. And then from there, I went to go and see a psychic myself. And that's when I truly realized that it was an amazing gift that I could help use and to teach others, that there's so much more to life than what's here in the physical world. Dead is not dead. Our loved ones never leave us. They are always with us 24/7. And going to see that psychic, years ago when I was in my teens, just really showed me that, I was holding my gift back from the world, that it wasn't something that I had to be afraid of. It wasn't a curse. It was a gift, and I had to run with it. And I started reading just for close friends and close family members like my grandmother did back in the day. And then from there, word just spread like wildfire about the one who could speak to the dead. And it's funny because after that, I got asked to be on TV, I got asked to be on radio, and I started to feel the shift where my career started changing from, working to helping people on the physical level to now helping people on the emotional level, overcoming grief. And I just got brought down this whole huge new journey within my life to help people. And I've been on it ever since. And since then, I've been so blessed to be on, Fox News and NBC News and ABC News, to be working with, an amazing publicist, and to have a team now that's helping me to reach as many people as I can. And I feel so fortunate to be able to do this work because I see the transformations that happen. It's so amazing to see somebody, especially somebody who's a skeptic or, who's not quite sure or never experienced, a psychic or a medium before, and to really get a message that just changes their life. You just immediately see that reaction and that transformation, and you just know right at that exact moment that this is for real and that this helps people.